Hello, this is Melvina Hodges of traditionsandcloth.com. My goal is to honor and preserve our fiber arts heritage through practice. Today I am wanting to share with you my latest muse, and that is spinning on mini bobbins. This came about just through me trying to find ways to, one, make spinning more accessible, two, also being able to take my work wherever I go, and also three, convenience. It's nice to be able to spin a little bit of yarn as you go, but then also have a safe way to store it. I use these tiny bobbins to spin cotton, and as you probably realize, when you spin cotton, you're going to spin fairly fine and with quite a bit of twist. So your singles are very energized and can easily get tangled or damaged if you're not careful in the way that you transport your spindle around. So these spindles or these bobbins really come in handy because you safely wind the yarn onto this bobbin. And then also, once you get enough singles built up and you want to ply, you can go ahead and do that directly from your bobbin, and it keeps them nice and safe. The thing that I like about spinning also, and this is kind of a newer discovery, is when you spin small quantities, you can play and have all sorts of fun creating different combinations. Now this cotton is, I have 3 different colors. I have white, brown, and green, and I created all these different variations of yarn by maybe I'll apply 1 strand of green with 1 strand of white, or maybe I carded the colors together, but I was able to create all these different types. And when you have these small quantities, you could, if you're going to weave, maybe you're going to weave with your rigid huddle, you can wind your yarn onto these are bamboo skewers, but I use them as shuttles, and it's perfect because you can create projects with lots of dimension, like this cowl that I wove. It's let's see here. It's got the yarns woven into a triangle, and you can see all the different color variation. Another way I use these small quantities, interlace. This is my latest project. I just could not stop. It was so much fun to be able to start a new color, a new yarn every row. And so I made this, didn't even want to stop. I mean, I still have yarn that I haven't even tried yet. But you can see all the variation that you can create just spinning these tiny quantities. I would only spin about an ounce of each type of yarn, and that was enough. Plus I still have left over to make more projects. So definitely a good idea to get you some mini bobbins going, and just spin a little as you go. So what do I need? I've got my dowel, which is 9 inches. That's my sweet spot. I usually don't spin at a table. I usually like to sit on the floor when I spin. But I feel like this length is very versatile. And then you have your bobbin. It doesn't weigh much. In fact, you're going to get more momentum in your spin as your bobbin fills up. But it's enough to get you going. To take off a chunk, and I'm just gonna hopefully do this real time because I do want to show you how to get started. I'm using one of my favorite bowls, is a hardwood bowl that's sanded very smooth, and this is perfect for maintaining good momentum as you spin. Okay, so what I do is I just go ahead and get myself a little leader. And sometimes it helps to wet your fingers a little bit, but what I'm doing is I'm just twisting, and I hope you can see this, or at least get the idea, and drawing out just enough to get me started, just enough. So I'm going to try this, see if this is enough. It's probably about, I don't know, 1 inch, 2 inches or so. All right, and I'm going to wrap it around the tip of my spindle like so. Just anchor it. And once you get started, then you can work on, just getting your spinning rhythm together. So just kind of spin a little bit, just to get yourself started. Notice that broke off. I'm just going to lay it on top of my fluff or my unspun fiber. And then once I get a little twist going, then I draw back a little bit. And you can see with cotton, your drafting zone is very small. Very, very small drafting zone. So keep your fingers close together. Let some twists go in and only draw back a tiny bit. Like so. Keeping it fine. And what I do as I spin is I create a temporary cup. So this is not permanent. I just wind close to the tip, about an inch or so. And then I spin quite a bit, just enough to make it worthwhile stopping and winding on. And this is what makes cotton spinning fast. I spin both on a wheel and with a spindle, and honestly, it's really not that much faster on my wheel. I would say maybe a third. So you can be productive if you're just a spindle spinner. Just take the time so that the technique becomes natural to you. And the cool thing about this is with my wheel, I gotta sit in one place and I gotta set myself up. Whereas with this spindle or these mini bobbins, I can keep a few in my purse or my pocket and stick my spindle stick behind my ear. Or it fits in my purse too. And I can just spin a little when I'm waiting in line or if I'm at the park. I don't have to be anywhere special to create my beautiful yarn. And then also, I mean, just for me, spinning is a meditation. I don't even keep track of the time when I spin. I just enjoy it. Enjoy feeling the fiber in my fingers. So normally I actually would spin even more in my temporary cot, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and wind off. And the way I do that is I wind the yarn onto figure 8 onto my fingers. So I'm using my thumb and my pointer finger, and I'm figure 8ing the yarn like so. This particular bobbin has poppies on it. I'm actually going to create some for an order for a customer. And it's got cute little poppies pyrographed and painted on it. So I'm going to go ahead. That helps too when your spinning equipment is cute. But yeah, these are available, the bowls and the spindle and this delicious naturally colored cotton is available on my website, www.traditionsandcloth.com. So check it out if you could use some of these or some fiber. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and anchor it and start wrapping. And the cool thing about a bobbin is you really don't have to be as worried about how you wind on as you would if you were winding a cop. Because if you wind your cop wrong, you could have a total disaster and risk losing all of your yarn. I usually just go back and forth and I wind onto my bobbin. And I usually, the odd thing, you would think you would not be able to get very much on here, but I usually wind on about 1/4 ounce before I switch out bobbins and put another one on. And that is very close to what I do on a traditional spindle. So very odd. I don't know, it kind of conceals it. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it holds a lot, but it definitely holds it quite a bit. And for those mini ball or yarn samples that I showed you, they were on only 1 ounce. I only created 1 ounce of each color or each type, and that was more than enough. I mean, you see I have left over, so you can really do some serious damage with these mini bobbins. You can get a lot of yarn spun. All right, so I'm back to spinning, and I just kind of barber pulled the yarn up the shaft, and yeah, you don't even notice that you got a bobbin attached to your shaft instead of a traditional spinning wheel. And it works just fine. So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna just do a little more and then I'll wind on again and we'll call it a day. And I'll actually get to painting new bobbins for people who want these cuties in their collection. All right, so winding on. And there you go. Then, you know, if you're done taking a break, go ahead, stick that in your purse, and you're ready to go.